You? Is anybody?
There's Molly, folks. That means your friends, the Goldbergs, are here. Yes, it's the Does program. Does, you know, is the new kind of soap for everything in your wash. Now let's drop in at the Does'em house. Pa Does'em's out in the backyard. Uh-oh, there's that hen-pecked Mr. Witherspoon from down the street.
Pardon me, Mr. Does'em,
Yeah?
but my wife, Gwendolyn...
Now, Mr. Witherspoon, I don't want to mix in any private affairs.
I know, but you see, Gwendolyn and I wash dishes together.
Oh, so do Ma and me. We does dishes together lots of times.
That's what I wanted to ask, how you do it. Because if anything goes wrong while we're washing dishes, why, Bing, Gwendolyn hits me.
Say, you need Does. It's a new kind of soap, and I bet it'll keep even Gwendolyn happy doing dishes. You see, Does everything in the wash and has everything for dishes, too.
What do you mean, everything?
I mean, Does make suds that stand up till the last dish is done. Cuts grease like 60. Yet it's kinder to hands.
You say, does suds stand up?
Sure.
Gee, our suds always fall flat, and Gwendolyn gets so mad.
Well, Does suds stand up even through the greasy pans? Gwendolyn won't have to keep adding soap.
Yeah, but that's not all. If she has to scour our frying pan, gosh.
Tell her Does cuts tough grease in less than half a minute, without any hard scouring.
Well, that almost solves everything.
What do you mean, almost?
Well, after we finish, Gwendolyn looks at her hands and sees how red and rough they look, and then she looks at me and zowie.
Listen, brother, Ma says Does is kinder to hands. It leaves 'em soft and smooth. I know Gwendolyn will like the gentle way Does treats her hands.
How can I ever thank you?
Thank Does. It does everything.
That's right. Why, compared to other leading granulated wash day soaps, Does is the only one of them that gives you all this. Makes suds that stand up till the last dish is done, cuts grease like 60, yet it's kinder to hands. Try Does, D-U-Z. It has everything for dishes. And now the Goldbergs. With a stubborn, tearful insistence, Rosie Goldberg is refusing to live up to the expectations of her parents. And this is difficult for Rosie, who is more than just a loving daughter. She admires her parents, especially Molly. And yet Rosie is refusing to give up her college money so that it can be used for her sister-in-law, Grace. Yes, from the very beginning, Rosie has disliked and been suspicious of Grace. But Rosie can't tell this to her mother and father. No, it would be blackening the name of Sammy's wife, and for Molly and Jake, this would be the ultimate crime. So Rosie is just being stubborn and taking the punishment of being called cruel and selfish. Listen.
Rosalie, tell Mama, tell Papa. Why should you think that you are selfish? Tell him why you don't want to give them money. If there is something to be seen, maybe they'll open their eyes. Rosalie, if you want me to say something, I'll say something.
No, Uncle David. Please promise me that you won't. I told you, Uncle David, that Grace was over at Masha's farm. She knows George, I'm sure of that. And I'm not going to sign the policy so that Mama and Papa can hand all that money over to her, no matter what they think I am.
All right, Jake.
Uncle David, I'm going in the kitchen, and please promise me that you won't say anything.
I wouldn't,
Please,
Rosalie.
Uncle David.
No.
All right, dear, I will now.
Molly?
David? Oh, I'm walking around like in a trance. David, darling, you tell me. Tell me, did Rosalie say something to you? Did she perhaps maybe mention something why she's acting so? I mean, David, maybe...
Molly, she wants to go to college. And you told her the money in the policy is hers.
Can't believe it. All right, I'll say maybe she don't like Grace. It's possible. But Grace is Sammy's wife. Rosalie knows I love her. She knows Jake loves her. What is her not liking? What don't she like? How many people do you start out in the world and not like, and then you finish and you like them? Between us, David, did I like Jake's 3 sisters first? No, not one of the 3 did I like. But you get older, you get kinder, you get more understanding, they get more understanding. You're good to their brothers, so they love you. So why should Rosalie put such a wall between her and her brother's wife? Why should that break up the family, my family, David? I don't know. Grace wouldn't told me if I didn't question her about the money. She wouldn't told me she needs money. Didn't I force? I forced her to tell me. You know how long it took before she even would say what she needed the money for.
But,
It's for her sister. It's for Grace's sister. Grace's sister's in a terrible, tragic situation. A girl took money from a bank. The girl is married. The husband don't know it. She needs the money to put it back in the bank before she gets arrested and she's put in prison. Is that a terrible trouble for a sister to be in such trouble? What wouldn't a sister do for a sister? That's why I can't understand that Rosalie is refusing. But refusing?
it's such a lot of money, Molly.
It is, David, but we have it. If Rosalie would only sign, it's there. So Rosalie wouldn't go to Randall College the first year. She could be a freshman someplace else for 1 year. Oh. Maybe, David, you could help me with some money. I wouldn't ask, David, only a year. Coming, dear.
My cabinet, please.
I'm coming, dear. I'm coming. David, if you could, Coming. Excuse me. Coming, dear. I don't know if I got my father.
Rosie? Rosalie? Rosie,
Yes?
where are you?
I'm here.
Come here, quick.
What is it, Uncle David?
Mama asked me to lend her money.
Don't, Uncle David. Please don't.
How can I say no to Mama? Mama was always so good to me.
Don't, Uncle David, please.
But
Yes, dear. Yes, I will. I'm doing it. Just a minute. Rosalie, Papa wants to talk to you once again. Go up. David, if Rosalie says no, you wouldn't refuse me, huh?
well,
I'll pay it back as quickly as I can.
I know, but
You don't want to, David, huh? Say it. Don't be ashamed. It's all right, David.
Very well, Rosie. Very well. From this moment forward, you and I, very well. David, how much money can you let me have?
David hasn't got any money, Jake.
You only showed me your bank
Jake.
book, yeah?
excuse me. Excuse me.
No, Molly. It's never too late to learn, huh?
Maybe I'll write to Mrs. Bloom.
If Mrs. Bloom has it, she won't say no. Blood is only redder than water, that's all.
She could ask Mrs. Malenka. She owes me yet for Sybil's tonsils. And Mrs. Ludenheimer's gallbladder. Maybe they'll send it back to me.
Take a letter for me, Molly.
To who?
To my former partner, Mendel.
Mendel has it.
If he hasn't, he'll get it.
I should write it.
Write it. I'm too nervous. My hands are shaking like a leaf.
Yes, very well.
Get the ink.
I got it.
Paper.
I'll get it.
Get it.
Got it.
Start.
Wait. Maybe Jake.
No, maybe. We have no other choice.
But maybe
Right.
Jake. Yes.
Dear Mendel.
Wait. Dear Mendel. Yes.
For many years, you and I were partners.
Wait. Yes. I. Partners.
We had good days and bad days. But whether the weather, we shared.
Wait. Good days. Bad days.
Whatever the weather, we shared.
Whatever weather we shared. Yes.
Got it?
Yes.
I find myself in the middle now of my stormy weather.
Weather. Yes.
As you know, my Sammy is overseas.
Oh,
Where, I don't know yet. If I didn't tell you he is married, I'm telling you now.
wait a minute.
He's married to a lovely girl. Period. Can you let me have $1,000 or more to tie me over? If the time ever comes when you are in need, and I hope it does, I will do the same for you.
The time ever comes when you are in need, and it does.
I will do the same for you.
I will do the same mistake me for you.
Your former partner,
Your former, wait, I have to know how to spell yet, wait. Your former partner.
with love to your family from mine, Jake.
With love to your family, from mine, Jake. I'll put Molly also, your partners, Jake and Molly.
P.S.
Who are you writing to?
To Mr. Mendel.
P.S.
Yes, Jake.
I cannot describe to you my feelings at this instant.
Yes.
Mendel, you should never experience what I experienced. You should never look with hope into the face of your beloved ones and see their hardness, cruelty, selfishness, greed, as I have seen.
Jake.
Rosie? Rosie,
Yes, Pa?
I want you to read this letter. And whether it gets mailed or not is up to you. A father's fate rests on this letter.
Under Jake's dramatization of himself, the real course of his feelings is deep. He is profoundly, deeply hurt by Rosie's action. For he knows he's right, and he can't possibly imagine a single reason for Rosie's refusal. Molly, however, should be more sensitive, especially now that David has refused also. You know, some folks don't talk much, but when they do, they really make it count. You know, our friend Pa Dozen's like that. He makes his words count, too. Why, just yesterday, he said...
A feller bet me $5 I couldn't talk on one subject for 5 minutes.
What'd you do, Pa?
I started talking about Duz.
Uh-oh.
Easiest $5 I ever made. Duz sure does everything.
Well, Duz certainly does everything. In the wash, anyhow. Yes, this new kind of soap does dirty overalls, streaky towels to pretty rayon slips. Why, compared to other leading granulated wash day soaps, Duz gives longer life to the colors you wash, plus unsurpassed whiteness for towels and real cleaning power for grimy work clothes. Even in the toughest wash, Duz does everything. And friends, during wartime, remember soap waste is war waste, because all soaps contain vital war materials our country needs. So make your Duz go farther. Soak clothes in clear, cool water before washing in Duz suds. That helps make every bit of Duz you use do more. You're to listen to the next episode of The Goldbergs, written for you by Gertrude Berg. Rosie reads the letter and faces a real problem. This is Clayton Collier speaking for Procter & Gamble and saying, do as the Duzums do. Let Duz, the new kind of soap, do everything in your wash.